do you still love the hustle, right? Do you love going out there every day? Now, you've chosen to be a driver, and there's so many variations of driver. You can be a rideshare driver, you can be a limo driver, they also call it private driver or chauffeur. You could be a shuttle driver, you could be a taxi driver. Bottom line is you've chosen this job or this occupation as a driver to make you money. And there are a lot of drivers out there that are just sick and tired and not satisfied at the end of the day. And why are they not satisfied? Because they're putting in more hours with Uber and Lyft, and they're earning less. And my title is pretty provocative. It says, how can Uber and Lyft drivers work less and earn more? And this is a formula that I've been working on for years, and because I taught it to the drivers that lease Cadillacs and Suburbans and BMWs from me, I have a lot of them driving around in LA, we get to look at the numbers, the raw data each week. And a couple of years ago, we already noticed that earnings were going down. Let's not talk about today. I mean, today it's just atrocious. You have to really put in crazy hours to earn what you did back then. But this formula, and I'm going to touch on this formula today. If you are ready, right? If you are ready to, let's say, offload your Prius, or you have a little car and you just, you like my little friend, little hamster Jack, and you're sick and tired of driving around in this Prius or this Camry or this Corolla or Civic and chasing little amounts, right? Pathetic pay per mile. In Minneapolis, they're trying to push 89. They're like, so, we're willing to compromise and pay you 89 cents. What's 89 cents, man? We don't work for that type of nonsense, right? You got to have this dollar figure in mind, and you got to have your daily goal. Today I want to make $300-400, right? Well, tell me, how on earth are you going to make $300 or $400 in your city with an UberX, maybe with a Prius where you've clocked up a lot of miles, unless you are literally willing to grind it from morning to night and, going back maybe forward, Uber Lyft 12, 14 hours. Yeah. Then perhaps at the end of the day, you have $300 or $400. And in order to make some decent money, you literally have to do this 6 to 7 times a week. And at that point, I ask you, what life do you have? What life do you have? And there are some YouTubers pushing channels out there. We're going to talk about one in particular who does 12 to 14 hours a day. That, my friends, is not a lifestyle, right? It's a guaranteed lifestyle to pass away before the age of 70. Between 60 and 70 years old, you follow that lifestyle and you're gone, right? You miss out on 20, 25 good years of your life, right? You ain't gonna see 85, 90. You'll be passing away 60 to 70 years old. That's reality. You go ahead and grind away, right? 12 to 14 hours a day on UberX, 6 to 7 times a week. And I will almost assure you, you ain't gonna make it past the 60, 70-year-old mark, right? Why? Because your body is in this type of position, your organs are not moving, you're not eating health, you're probably bouncing around from fast food outlet to fast food outlet. You've put on crazy weight, you're losing your breath going up the stairs, and you say to yourself at like 58, 60, shit, what's going on? Well, what's really going on, my friends, is that you are following their algorithmic formula, and you're sucked into this vacuum that is so hard to get out of, right? I understand that because I speak to drivers every day. It is so hard to get out of that rut, out of that hamster wheel, plowing away endless hours per week in your Uber X. I don't care what's a Prius, a Corolla, or a Civic, right? And that to me is not living life, right? Money ain't everything. Money is a fantastic added bonus. For me, at least, I love making money. I have multiple ways of making money. I love my holidays. I love being able to take 5 kids and a wife to Europe, to Hawaii. I want to live life. I want to enjoy my children. And I can tell you, if you knew me one-on-one from the early ages, maybe 12, 13 years old, I always said to myself, and I also really have to thank my parents for this, right? Work smart. Don't overwork yourself. Don't kill yourself working, right? And find ways and find models, perfect them so that you can literally work less and earn more. Yes, I just said that. Work less and earn more, right? So what I developed a few years ago, 3 years ago, I launched this private chauffeur and limo driver course. And I added to it the fleet course. Fleet course is like you being your own enterprise, you being your own Avis. You could go on to, or you being your own hire car, or you being your own tourer. You have your own vehicles, and you lease, or call it rent them out per week, per month to drivers, and you really make good money. The ROI, the return on investment of fleets is through the roof. I have real estate, apartments and Airbnbs. It doesn't even come close what I'm earning on that side compared to what I earn with vehicles by leasing them, not just to an Uber driver. For me, the criteria, they got to be an Uber and Lyft driver, and they have to be highly rated, right? And then on top of the fact that they are an Uber and Lyft driver, renting a car from me weekly, call it $650 a week, or a smaller vehicle for $350, or $300 for a very small vehicle, right? I now have to teach them how to build out private clients, because I know in my business, if you are on both platforms, if you haven't been deactivated on Uber and Lyft, and you're actually driving on both platforms in a suburban, and I can on top of that teach you, right, how to get cash clients, private clients. These drivers quickly figure out, as I did myself, that you start weaning yourself off. It's like, coming off a medication. If you've been on a medication for months or years and you're slowly coming off, it's almost like going cold turkey, right? I got to get off that medication. I got to get off Uber and Lyft. I got to do trips because I enjoy driving that actually pay, right? And I do not want to grind 12, 14 hours to make $300, right? How do I do that? Again, how do I coordinate my day, my week, or change things up to get into a rhythm where I'm getting more quality time for myself, I'm getting more quality time for my relationship, my husband-wife relationship, whatever it is, my boyfriend-girlfriend relationship, whatever it is, my relationship with my kids. How do I get more quality, and how do I live longer? How do I keep myself healthy and not like grind myself to a standstill that I'm just like stressed out to the max, trying to make ends meet each month? I do not believe in that formula. I've never ever believed in that formula since I've been a kid. And when I say kid, a teenager. And what I'm going to share with you today is the opportunity of, you're on Uber and Lyft, right? You're out there, and let's say you have an XL vehicle, could be a Chrysler Pacifica, could be a Honda Odyssey, could be a Toyota Sienna, or even better, right? Maybe you have a luxury sedan, a 750 or a 550 Mercedes or a Suburban or a Cadillac, right? You are now entering a whole different world, a world that you might think of changing to if your current state is just frustrating you, is grinding you, is upsetting you, is making you ill, is giving you anxiety, is giving you stress. It might be time to offload that Prius, right? And say, hey, I have the skill set. I know my city inside out. I believe in great service. I always keep my car clean. My car smells great, inside, outside, right? I know what good service is. And those are the type of people I'm talking to. And this may not be for everyone, right? I have a lot of people that come to me, they get deactivated because of their low ratings. They fall under a 4.5 or 4.6. Uber Lyft kicks them off and say, listen, you do not meet the qualifications of our client. You don't really care about your car. You don't care about your job. You have endless complaints against you. They kick them off and give them another chance to do some training. They're back. They get their ratings up maybe to 4.7, 4.8, and then they fall back into that same rut, that same pattern where they don't really care. Why should I clean my car? Why should I polish my car? I don't really care. They're not paying me. I'm willing to put in a lot of hours. I'm okay with whatever they pay me, and I barely make it paycheck to paycheck, right? There are those people out there. Those are the people I'm going to have a lot of difficulties convincing that there is another mechanism out there. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you are on Uber and Lyft, and you know, for example, that, NBA playoffs, right? And now I'm going to jump right into NBA playoffs are taking place. You know who's playing in your city at what time, right? First, second, third, probably at the third to fourth quarter, it's good to roll into that area. It could be Crypto Arena, the former Staples Center. It could be at some other arena. It could be an NFL game. It could be a hockey game. But there are so many events, and I'm talking like where there's mass people, right? The same thing is, you can go on to Ticketmaster. I can go on to LA and say, okay, what's happening in my city, LA? Well, there's a lot happening. I've got the Forum. I've got the SoFi Stadium. I've got the Crypto. I've got the Hollywood Bowl. I have all of these venues that I can check up online, and I can literally fill Monday to Sunday with all of these events going on around my city, right? Lakers are, I think, playing tomorrow. Pink is coming up in September. Dodgers, baseball on May the 3rd. I mean, I could literally fill up my calendar with all of these happenings. And of course, it's easier in big cities like New York, Miami, maybe Salt Lake City or Denver or Houston or Phoenix. Yeah, there's more going on, right? Now, what you can do, and please do not do what this guy did, right? There is actually a YouTuber out there, right, who is promoting private trips or how to make cash trips. Has a few hundred followers, just started this, but is sharing the wrong information. I can tell he's a novice. I can tell he's not a pro. I can tell he hasn't been in the game long enough to come up with the formula. He's pretty much just trying something out. And granted, he's got a channel going and he's sharing his information, but he is also educating the wrong way. So for example, if a driver asks, hey, the issue for private rides, and this is right, what this driver says, is commercial insurance. Commercial insurance here is the ball buster. It is expensive if you want to go out, right? If you want to go out and set yourself up with a TCP license in California. Could be any city, right? TNC, TCP, they have all the different, in California it happens to be called, you need a transport charter permit. It's about $800. It takes about 60 days to get. That Suburban would have to be registered commercially with the DMV. That Suburban, if you're financing it, would have to be financed as a fleet car or as a commercial car, not as a regular car. You'd have to make sure that the dealership that is financing that car for you does register it commercially. And then on top of it, you need the commercial insurance. Now, commercial insurance ain't cheap, as this driver correctly says. Not sure about your area, but our area, it's about $1,100 a month to be properly insured. And he's probably talking about New York or New Jersey. It's very expensive. I'm paying about $700 to $800 per month, right? And then the guy who has the channel comes back, the guy who's actually trying to teach, and I blocked his name out because I definitely ain't sending drivers to his channel. But then he comes out and says, thank you for your input. Yes, you are correct, as commercial insurance could get pretty pricey. He's right? Here in Southern California, the lowest I've priced, that was about $800. Again, he's right. Starting it up to about $1,200, like you were saying, and he's right. On the flip side, now this is someone that's going out and trying to teach you, a novice, right? Actually, I think has 2 or 3 private clients, which is nothing, and does a lot of other type of cash trips, right? And there's nothing wrong with cash trips, but I'm going to tell you why on cash trips as a private driver, you're actually putting in a lot of hours. I'm going to show you in the private chauffeur, private driver world, how to get your Uber and Lyft clients in your private company and then build out a repetitive calendar where people will give you multiple bookings. Like I have bookings right through to November 2024, right? So I can plan, I can budget, I can know what I'm making in June. I know what I'm making in July. And for July and June, I'm still going to get a ton of bookings, but I already know now, based on my calendar, how much I'm making, right? And that is a beautiful thing, ladies and gentlemen. So let's just hypothetically say you have offloaded your Prius, you have offloaded your Camry, or you've traded it in, and you say, hey, you know what? I want to try something new out. I know my city, I know the job, I'm a great communicator, I'm great on customer service, the people love me, but I'm in UberX not making money. I'm in UberX with a Prius grinding away on Lyft and Uber 12 to 14 hours a day, pulling $250 to $350, and I have no life. I'm probably going to lose my relationship. I'm probably going to get divorced down the line. I'm probably going to put on 40 to 50 pounds. I'm probably going to die between 60 and 70. Ladies and gentlemen, is that an option? No, not for me at least. Maybe for someone else, but you have choices in life. You have choices when you're 40. You have choices when you're 30 years old. And you can even make big choices if you're 60 or 70 years old. You do not have to drive yourself into the grave. Let me repeat that. You do not have to drive yourself into the grave. But here you have this YouTuber say, on the flip side, right, I just fly under the radar and take my chances. Dude, you have lost every ounce of credibility from a pro, right? From a pro that's actually out there who is registered, and not just me, right? I mean, I'm proud to say that I have 4 billionaire clients. This guy would never, ever get a booking, I can tell you right now, from a billionaire client. He would not know how to handle that type of degree of professionalism. Plus, he couldn't because he's not even licensed. He is going in there with a regular car, regular auto insurance, or regular ride share, and building out private clients, and actually live in his own channel saying, on the flip side, I just fly under the radar and take my chances. Okay, you want to roll the dice? That's fine. There's a lot of people that'll roll the dice in the first 5-6 months and not take that big step towards commercial insurance because it means moving from $300, up to $800-900 is just too much up front. They can just barely pay the TCP and get all the registration going, right? But they can't quite yet pay for the insurance. And maybe flying under the radar for a few months until you have a couple of clients, until you have momentum, might be okay. I'm not endorsing that because I started it up the right way from the very beginning because I had the money to do it. I had the money to buy cars. I have invested in other businesses. I've got other businesses going. So this for me was quite an easy transition. And you could turn around and say, hey, Torsten, this was easy for you because you had the money. And yes, you are right. It was easier for me because I had a couple of other businesses going and I had liquid cash and I moved it in buying vehicles and buying the right insurance from the word go. But God forbid something goes wrong, my friends. God forbid one of your private clients who is a CEO or some business manager gets hurt in your car. For the rest of your life, you will just be paying bills. Right? It's not worth it. So this man here, and I've crossed his name out, I can't take him serious. I've watched one or two of the videos. Some of the stuff he really says is correct. Like, he's not wrong when he says this costs $800-1200, but I am not subscribing and following someone and say, you know what, I'm going to take my chances, I'm going to fly under the radar and take the risk. I just can't follow that type of formula in life. Maybe because I like to approach things professionally, maybe because I have the money to do it right from the very beginning. But again, maybe you have to hustle and fly under the radar for a few months until you can actually pay that commercial license. But don't go out there for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years and think that I'm immune. Nothing's going to happen to me. I'll never get into an accident with private clients. If I get into an accident with Uber and Lyft, I have my ride share insurance, right? There is a $2,500 deductible. I can take that punch. I'm okay. It's a whole different world, ladies and gentlemen, when you're playing with these people, with the big boys, right? And it's a whole different type of etiquette. It's a whole different type of service, platinum service, if you want these clients. Now, I have seen countless people, countless drivers with the right registration, TCP, at Coachella. They'll be at Stagecoach this weekend, at the NFL games, at SoFi, at the Forum, right, with their TCP, right, which tells me they are registered, they have the state license, and if they registered as a TCP, they have the commercial insurance, because one of the requirements from the state, no matter where you are, whether you're in Texas, whether you're in Vegas, in Nevada, whether you're in New York, is, hey, we can do this for you, the state can do this for you, but show us that your vehicle is commercially registered, show us that it's commercially weighed, show us that you have commercial insurance, right? So if in California you're at Coachella or Stagecoach or at the SoFi watching Pink or Black Sabbath or whatever show you going to watch, or Billy Joel, or Sting, or a hockey game, the Kings, or you're at a Patriots game, NFL, and you see these vehicles with these registration, they have followed the steps and the protocol. Usually see the guys, sometimes they even wear a fancy hat, sometimes they wear black and white outfit, sometimes they wear a tie. Me personally, I like to be, I don't dress in t-shirt or anything, but I don't drive my clients around in a suit. I want to feel comfortable, I want to look good, I want to be able to talk when they want to talk, right? But my job is to drive them from A to B. And what I figured out in the city of LA, that 90% of my business, 90% of my business is airports. And I've strategically built my clients in Malibu, in Hidden Hills, in Calabasas, in Westlake, in Pacific Palisades, in Thousand Oaks, right? In Moore Park, in Simi Valley, so that I can drive an hour to an hour and a half to the airport, LAX majority or Burbank, and charge them a specific fee all day long. So my goal is to teach you in this course, right? How do I set up these repeat clients? Now there's two ways to approach this, right? Let's say you are on Uber and Lyft, and let's say you're a hustler and you're a talker and you love the hustle and you love communication. You already have one foot in the door with private trips or cash trips, right? Because you might be driving a couple to a restaurant and it might be around 8, 9 o'clock. And you know that, you know what they are paying Uber. And you know what you're getting out of that transaction as an Uber driver, probably 30, 40%. There is nothing wrong, ladies and gentlemen, approaching those clients and saying to them, and just hear me out. You guys having dinner here tonight? Are you catching an Uber back? Yeah, we're going to head back around 9 or 10 with an Uber. If you wish, I'm an independent contractor. Remember, I'm an independent contractor. I service Uber and Lyft, but I can also take private trips. I'm licensed. I have the licensing. Here's my card. If you want me to pick you guys up at 9:30, 10, or if you want me to stick around because I don't really have much else to do, I will gladly drive you back. And you know where you pick them up, so you're going to be driving them back, let's say, an hour. And you also know approximately, roughly, how much they paid Uber, and you definitely know how much you got for the trip dropping them off in the Uber, because you made 30 to 40%. So if I'm thinking that way, and they say that's cool, you can drive us back, we'll be done by 10. I tell you what, I'll hang around at 9:30. I'll be there, and then here's my number. Text me when you're ready to go. Give me a 3-minute warning. I'll drive up to the valet, pick you up, and take you home. Right? So let's just say that was a $150 trip, or maybe even a $200 trip that they paid for Uber Black. Right? I can say, by the way, I'm guessing you paid, because I can quickly look it up. I'm guessing you paid about $200 and $250 for that 1 hour trip. Is that accurate? I'll take $50 off. So if it was $250, I'll do it for $200. If it was $200, I'll do it for $150. Does that sound good? Oh, that is wonderful. Yeah, pick us up after dinner. Now that at that moment, many ways that individual or that couple can pay you, right? They can pay you cash. They'll usually ask you, do you take Zelle? Yes, I do. Can I pay you through the Cash App? Yes, I do. Do you have Venmo? Yes, I do. Can I pay you cash? Absolutely, right? Do you take credit cards? Yes, I do. Right, but for credit cards, I charge 5% extra. Now, you're already extending a great discount for them. They already know who you are. They've enjoyed the trip. They've enjoyed the conversation. And you already now know you will be driving them back after the restaurant, after the NFL game, because you drop them off there. You can drive them back and you know when the game ends, or after the Pink concert, or after the baseball. Right, you're an independent contractor, and you tell them, I'm an independent contractor. I have the right to negotiate deals with you directly, right? So you more than likely will get the return, meaning you've already made for the return 2 to 3 times, at least 2 to 3 times more than the Uber drop-off. So Uber drop-off inbound, Lyft drop-off inbound, private trip outbound, right? You're making 2 to 3 times more. You're not splitting the money with Uber. You're not splitting the money with Lyft. No, they are now on the return from the restaurant, from the NFL game, from the Pink concert, they are paying you cash. Now, another thing, at these concerts, the surge and what Uber and Lyft, and this is an easy way to scare that potential private client. By the way, you know how crazy it gets at SoFi after the game, after the concert. They will charge you a fortune. The drop-off is inexpensive. The pickup back is mega expensive because everybody wants an Uber or Lyft. You know that, right? So, we can gladly look at what that trip would cost you. I'll pick you up and we'll look at what the trip would cost you back, and I will do it for $50 less. You've just saved yourself $50. And you've negotiated all of that in the car. You have negotiated your return, potentially a private client, right, that may stay with you forever and teach you this in this course, in this formula, in all of these categories. There's 22 categories in the curriculum that you learn, right? I show you how to get that person that you dropped off at that concert, at that game, and you're converting them into a client that may be with you for 5, 6, 7, 8. Some of my clients have been with me for 10 years. And you do not even want to know what opportunities materialize, develop through these special relationships, especially if you've been driving someone for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years. Access to places in Mexico, access to houses in Europe, access to houses in Florida, fishing trips, boats, sometimes even planes. They'll make it available to you. Flo Kunle in the house. Love you, my brother. $50. Yeah, baby. And hit him up. He is a great trainer. If you say, I'm a great trainer, watch him. Watch him live. Thank you, Flo. Love you, love your family. His family, by the way, every Christmas send me this little Christmas carol, the best. And how many kids already, Flo? Got that little baby was too cute as a button. He always sends me the updates. So beautiful family, an amazing teacher as well. Go to his channel, learn from him. Now, back to the course, back to the curriculum. Ladies and gentlemen, you are an Uber or Lyft driver. You've now made that decision to get yourself a Toyota Sienna, or you've made that decision to offload one of your vehicles and get yourself a Suburban. You've made that decision to invest and get the right licensing and the right commercial insurance. And again, don't follow this guy's advice here where, oh, you know what, I'll take a chance, I'll fly under the radar. No, we're not doing it that way. We're doing it the proper way, right? So you have now converted that restaurant couple or that group of people that you've dropped off at a sports game, and you got the return trip. You're making money. Cash, Zelle, Cash App, Venmo, credit card, and potentially, like we show you, we turn them into a private client, and a good private client will bring you 5 other clients. It's called referrals, right? We talk about referrals, ladies and gentlemen. It's in that first category called marketing, referrals, and networking, because this is how you build out the client. I'm now today sitting on 385 private clients. You heard it. 385 private clients after doing this for 11 years. I've sold this course 4,500 times worldwide, not just in the United States. This course, whether you're in Toronto, whether you're in Tokyo, whether you're in London, whether you're in Miami, whether you're in New York, right? Now, I also have a team, AI team, because I have a group of programmers in that. They are now making the same course in Portuguese, in Spanish, in German, and multiple French, Italian, multiple languages, AI, with my face in Italian, in Spanish. We're doing all of that right now. So my sales, I'm all about money, and I'm all about teaching people how to make money. My sales 2024 to 2025, once I have this translated in 8 languages, this course is going to be in 8 languages. Again, AI, my face, my curriculum, my videos, with me in the same voice, in Spanish, in German. Let's say it would sound like this. If it's a German Kurs, ich bringe Ihnen heute bei, wie Sie als privater Fahrer Geld machen können. That's what the course is going to sound like if it was for the Swiss, the Austrian, or the German audience, right? But to the curriculum which we're going to go through, it's 300 minutes, 22 modules with your certification. Obviously, we touch on concerts, sports events, and that, because these are all perfect opportunities to recruit private clients. But to forecast, to budget, to know what am I making in April, what am I making in May as a private driver, what am I making in June, July, August as a private driver. And by the way, August, obviously I have a lot of bookings still coming. But if I wanted to look at my April or my May calendar, I already know minimum what am I going to make for that month. And right now I'm sitting on about $250,000 to $300,000 gross in bookings if I look at a 12-month period, right? That's what I made in the last 12 months. It always hovers between 250 to 300,000. Of course, I have my expenses, just like you have your expenses with UberX, just like you have your expenses with an Uber XL. You might have a transmission problem. You will definitely be buying tires every 40 to 50,000 miles. You'll definitely be doing your oil changes every 5,000 miles, right? So all of those costs apply to a private driver or private chauffeur as well. Don't think you don't have costs. And your biggest expense, which this guy believes he can duck and dive, doesn't have to do, happens to be, yes, correct, that $800 to $1,200 for your private commercial insurance. That is your biggest overhead each month. But if you put your monthly costs and your gasoline, and granted, there's now switching to suburban diesels. I'm staying away now. I'm not buying the suburban gasoline anymore, right? Because at almost $5.50 per gallon, gasoline, has gone up. The wear and tear, the longevity of the diesel engine is far superior to the gasoline engine. It's a little bit more expensive, but those diesel Suburbans are getting great miles. They're getting 28 to 30 miles versus the gasoline version, which is getting like 15 to 24 miles, even worse on my Cadillacs. So you have to make your calculations. Am I going to go EV? I'm not going EV because there are just too many massive costs on the horizon. There are no big vehicles out there in the EV world. I mean, you got the Hummer, but you can't really use that for transporting people. A lot of people are waiting for the Cadillac IQ, which comes out in 2025, which is an EV that can get you about 500 miles. But for now, I am all in on the diesels, moving away from gasoline, moving towards diesel. Why? Better wear and tear on the engine, more miles out of that vehicle, more longevity, and more importantly, actually pretty decent mileage rates from those suburban diesels, right? Just throwing that out there as an example. Of course, on the flip side, a car that has the same amount of room, right, can take the same amount of luggage, but is getting 35 miles a gallon. I also have my Toyota Siennas. I love the new shape of the Toyota Sienna. It almost looks like a cross. It doesn't look like a minivan anymore. It doesn't look like an SUV. It looks cool. And those Siennas that I have can take 8 passengers. That's 7 passengers plus me, the driver, 8 people. And it can take a ton of luggage. It has this really deep basin in the back where you can just load up your luggage all the way to the very top, right? So these are a couple of options. So you might say, well, I just don't have the money to go and explore and do suburban. I don't have the money to buy a Cadillac. Well, why don't you start off by offloading your Prius, your Camry, your Civic, and you get yourself a nice, big, super cool Toyota Sienna that'll do 350,000 miles without a problem, as long as you take care of that baby, right? And then you follow my formula, right? You follow my formula. Let me walk you through the topics in this course, right? Marketing, referrals, networking is where I spend the most time, right? I spent 25 minutes on that module. Why? Because this makes you the money. If you are not marketing, if you are not giving superior platinum service and getting referrals because of your punctuality, because of your professional conduct, because of your safe driving, all of those factors lead to referrals. Some of my clients have referred me 10 people, 15 people, 5 people, 2 people. Some people don't even want to refer me because they're scared, oh, if I refer you to all of my friends, I'm no longer going to get you, right? Another beauty we talk about in this course is, and by the way, you can go out and you can hustle all your little cash trips. You can hustle at these arenas, you can hustle at these concert venues, you can hustle at these sports stadiums, right? You take out your little tablet, you find the spot at the sofa, you find the spot at the forum, I'm talking LA, you got your little tablet, hey, private driver here, private driver, I'll drive you for less than Uber's charging you surge right now, where are you going? Got to be minimum 30 minutes or 40-minute trip, heading out in this direction. If you want a trip, I can take you, I'll save you a lot of money. You don't have to wait for an Uber, you don't have to pay the surge prices. I'm hustling. You can do it that way, but usually these are just one-offs. And unless you massage them and then work them to become your private clients. I like long-term private clients because I can plan, I can budget, and if I have a good private client, here's the big one: safety, safety, safety. I know the person. They know me. I know who I have in front of me. I know who I'm driving. I know that I'm also driving their kids and their family. My safety factor is so much better than these one-offs that I may be hustling at a concert or hustling, at a sports game. Yes, those are good paying. You're making 2 to 3 times the amounts, but I call them the one-offs, right? And the safety is not always there, especially if they have been drinking. A bunch of guys jump in the car. Yeah, sure, we'll pay you $200. You take us there. You don't know who you have in the vehicle. With my private clients, right, that I build out, teach you how to build these people out, right? I know that if I'm driving this individual or that individual or these individuals that come in once a year, right, I know what I'm getting. I'm getting safety. And in today's rideshare world, Uber and Lyft are not offering safety and security. Now, and just like my good friend that I actually helped train up, he's in San Diego. His name's Thomas Gibson. He went out and got his firearm license. He got all his training. I always travel with my firearm licensed, right? Because the type of clientele that I have, it's an additional service that I'm selling. I'm trained in that area of security. I used to have security companies in South Africa. Believe me, that's a tough world running those in South Africa. I'm trained, whether you like guns or you don't like guns, that's okay. We're not going to talk politics about guns. But for me, having the firearm license and being able to offer that to some of my musicians, I drive a lot of rappers, hip hop artists, etc., right? And it gets pretty fucking wild sometimes, but I'm armed and I can keep them safe. And they pay a premium, a very, very high premium for that additional layer of safety. Sometimes I even have my private clients bring their own security guards. That's fine with me. If you want to, as I have some hip hop and rap artists that have their own security, armed security, I'm cool with that. And when their clients are in the restaurant or at a nightclub, they'll lock it in my safety box, right? because they can't go, their security can't go armed into a nightclub, so they leave their guns in my car. I'm cool with that because I have the right safety houses for their weapons, right? So I am selling transport and security, right? Transport and security. A lot of people in this arena are only selling transport, and that is fine. I'll transport you from A to B. Could be an hour. I'll transport you to Vegas. I'll transport you up to San Francisco. Ask no questions. It's always a matter of price. Now, when you talk a matter of price, that is actually the next topic, pricing trips. And if I am at a concert or if I am at a sports event and I've just dropped these people off and I said, listen, how are you guys getting back after the Lakers game? How are you guys getting back after the Nuggets game? How are you guys getting back after the Heat game? Oh, we'll catch an Uber. Do you know that they're going to hit you with surge? You know that it'll be super expensive. I will offer you, I'm an independent contractor, I'm fully licensed. I will offer you that trip back. Whatever Uber is asking when you get into my car, I'll do it for $50, $60, $70 less. You can sell them. We got ourselves a deal, right? They know they're not going to be ripped off with Uber surge prices. I know I'm going to make 2 to 3 times the amount that I'm making, that I'll make on the return versus the drop off, right? So I'm setting myself up now because I'm a salesman and I've got to know these people, and I went after them to recruit them for the return trip, whether it's cash, Zelle, Venmo, whatever. I have a good feeling about them. They were fun. They were nice. They respected my car. And they appreciated me. They tipped me well on the drop-off. I want to drive those people back. And more importantly, I want to turn them into long-term clients. I've done it so many times. Taken Uber or Lyft as an independent contractor, which I have the right to do. Now, Uber and Lyft threaten you. Oh, you can't do this, right? But legally, as an independent contractor, you can actually set your rates. There's nothing that they can do. If they were to deactivate you because you took one of their clients, you can sue the shit out of them, right? And I've done it. So you can go after that client as an independent contractor, make them your long-term client. How did I get there? Maybe I hooked them through the pricing. Even the wealthy people like to save money. People will love to save money after a game, after a concert. You could potentially save them $50 or $100, especially at Coachella. Some of the trips were $350, $400, and you can do it $300 cash. They've just saved themselves $100 going from La Quinta or Indio back to Palm Springs. You're actually you're making good money, cash money, right? I'll do it for $300 cash. Sure, we'll go. Why? Because right now it says that trip back to Palm Springs is $380. Uber is gouging them at these mass events. The next one, the scheduling. Have all these text messages coming, phone calls, emails. Hey, I need a trip, drop off on that date, pick up on that date, LAX, pick up at Burbank on that and that date. And I'm getting like 2 dates. Can you do them? Check my calendar, schedule it in. Yes, I can. I can do both those dates. I can do the 5th of May and I can do the 10th of May. Done. Booked. Thank you. Right. Oh, by the way, I can do the 5th of May, but my backup driver, they know I have 2 good backup drivers, can do the 10th of May. That's cool. Let's do it. Right. They're getting the same deal from my backup driver, but here's the big difference. Right. So when you are starting to recruit cash trips and put in all that energy, and remember what I said, the goal here is to work less and make more. Let me say that again. Work less hours and make more. If I am constantly chasing my calendar, events, sports events, and I'm showing up there, I'm hustling, I'm spending all this time, all this energy, hustling trips with my little tablet, right? Maybe you have a black and yellow or black and white thing. Anybody need a return trip from the SoFi? Heading over to Calabasas or that area, to the Valley area. I can do it for $200. Currently, it's going for $250. Let's go. Get them in your car. Let's go. It takes a lot of time and a lot of effort recruiting those type of cash trips. Yes, they make you good money. Sometimes you can even do 2 runs, right? Sometimes people give up on their team in the third quarter and they're leaving. We'll take you home. And then you go back and you get the other rest. You get another group of people after the fourth quarter. There's a lot of people that leave games if the margins are 20, 30 points. So they give up on their team, they leave in the third quarter. Take them, come back, next group, right? So that is one way of doing it, but it's time consuming and it takes a lot of energy. If I tell you the long-term goal is to have a lot of private clients, and schedule the bookings with them. Fill up your April calendar, fill up your May calendar, fill up your June calendar with repeat clients. And repeat clients is what this course is really well known for, because repeat clients means safety. I want you to be safe, right? I want the highest level of security for you as a driver, because you have nurtured, you have found the right client that you're driving over and over and over and over again. You know what you're getting. They are not these carjacking unknowns. They are not these criminal unknowns. They are not these potential stabbings or shootings or carjackings or pedophiles getting into your car. You want to get yourself off Uber and Lyft, and you want to start building out your private clientele. As I said before, I'm on a 385 private clients. I'm not taking any more private clients on. I can't even keep up, but I've got backup drivers. I'm taking a 20% commission. It's a beautiful feeling when I'm waking up. Let's say I'm waking up at 6:30 a.m. this morning, and I've already made 2 referrals before 6:30 a.m. and I have myself another $45 and another $30 referral in my account at 6:30 a.m. because I referred 2 people that I couldn't do in the morning because I had to be at another booking. And you got these referral monies coming in, and that's what I teach my drivers in the fleet, right? Because you're also getting the fleet program included, is how do you build out your backup drivers if you are fully booked? Double bookings, triple bookings are great. Turning away a client and saying, I'm already booked, just shows how good you are. They want you, right? They want you to drive them. Sorry, on the return, I'm already booked, but my backup driver, Jan, or my backup driver, Chris, will take you. Now, back to the curriculum. How do I handle the taxes? Well, you handle the taxes very, very differently than maybe as a rideshare driver working on the mileage rate, right? You have all these expenses as a private company. Once you're in this course, we'll put you together with the experts, right? With companies that I work with that'll help you on the taxes, it'll help you on the commercial registration, will help you on the insurance. It's all built into the course. Now, the application process and licensing, I work with a vendor that does that for you at faster than you will ever do it, and for less money than you will ever do it. VIPs, VIPs in LA, I mean, everything's possible. So I'm driving actors, I'm driving sports stars, right? I'm driving musicians, rappers, rock groups, you name it, right? LA, melting pot. New York would be the same, Miami, these type of clientele jump around, right? You have to intercept them. You have to then build them out as long-term clients, and that is explained. How do I do executive and corporate transport? How do I do parties and events? Sometimes I have to get multiple cars because I may have to move 10, 15 people, right? Or I have a big group of kids, 20 people, might be 2 limousines, might be a party bus. I have all of those vehicles, but I got to be ready. I got to be able to accommodate that booking. An event or a party is going to take out a big chunk of hours out of your day, potentially 5 p.m. till 1 or 2 a.m. Big money, but you got to be ready for it, and you have to schedule it correctly. And you might have another private client, and you cannot do that big, beautiful $700-800 event booking, so you have to hand it over to your backup driver. Airports, whether it's LAX or Burbank, We talk about the protocols at the airports. How does it work with private clients? Now, it's very, very different if they have their own private jets. A lot of my clients, I would say at least 30 of my clients have their own private jet. At least out of the 385 clients I have, 30 clients have their own jet. It's a whole different ball game. I teach you that formula, right? And whether it's a private airport in Scottsdale, Arizona, whether it's a private airport in Burbank or private airport in Orange County or private airport in Van Nuys, you got to know how to operate at those airports. Hotels. Hotels are a great way to recruit high-end clients. 5-star hotels, whether it's the Montage, whether it's the Peninsula, whether it's the Beverly Hilton, right? You can position yourself there as an Uber or Lyft driver and get the right type of clients. Once you've hooked them, once you've got that fish on the line, can I now turn them into a potential long-term client, right? Teach you that. How do I handle the nightlife? Nightlife could mean kids. Nightlife could mean a lot of alcohol. How do I handle the restaurants? Another great place to recruit high-end restaurants, expensive restaurants, where it's Nobu down in Malibu. Man, I've hooked many big fish that have become my clients at Nobu. Sitting around there with my fishing rods, getting them and then converting them to my private clients. I tell you, Nobu has been phenomenal. Thank you, Nobu. Thank you, Nobu. Thank you, Nobu. I don't think people know how many people I actually got from Nobu. I got a lot of good, high-quality Uber clients and few Lyft clients, but mainly Uber clients in the black and luxury category from Uber. Thank you, Travis Kalanick. Thank you, Dara Koshashawi, for giving me those clients at Nobu in Malibu. Right now, choosing the right vehicle. It's a big one. You might be ready to offload that vehicle, that Prius, right? You might be ready to offload that sedan and step it up into a suburban diesel or step it up into a Toyota Sienna. A great topic where I also show you how to buy and save money. The dress code and etiquette, that's really up to you. I mean, dress code, I always say dress smart. But the etiquette, dealing with billionaire clients that are flying around the world on jets, you got to know the etiquette. Got to know how to roll and talk their language, right? What are they looking for? They're looking for the fine little things. Whether it means I bring them coffees or food. I have to tune, I have to dial in where they're coming from. I have to know, oh my God, you guys came from Paris. So, how long we're on the flight. Maybe they're on a 10, 12-hour flight. Is there anything I can do when you arrive in the morning, early morning? Yeah, we like our coffee. These little finessing things will make you the big tips. And I'm telling tips, $100 upwards on tips, right? Staging your vehicle. Staging my vehicle is important. If I'm dealing with high-end clients, I'm dealing with high-end waters, my Evians, right? Good waters. Good magazines. I have a selection of at least 7 plus 7, 14, maybe 10 to 14 different magazines on board, a variety of good magazines that they can read, relax and read, or they're on their computer, right? The qualities you would need as a private driver. Well, you got to be a good salesman. You got to be able to talk the talk if they want to talk, right? How can I potentially integrate another job or business? I integrated real estate into this, right? And then because I'm dealing with high-end clients, I can do high-end real estate. Transportation of children and teenagers, big money maker. I love the kids. I love my clients' kids. I teach them like I treat them like my kids. Parents all want me to drive their kids. This weekend, back to back, 2 bookings, 6 kids, 5 kids, right? I'll drop those kids off wherever they need to be dropped off. One father's a professional footballer. This one's a musician. I'll drop them off. I'll communicate with those parents. They know exactly where we are, right? Hey, we just dropped off Jack. We dropped off Jill. We're stopping at In-N-Out. We're doing it. They love that. They love knowing where is my kid on the map at what time. Oh, Torsten is informing us. I drive so many teenagers. I love it, right? I make it fun. I got the music. I got the lights. They can talk to me about everything. They share. I show them I care for their safety, snacks, food. What do you guys want? Are we going to stop at 7-Eleven, get food? What do you want? Chips? What do you want, guys? Keep those teenagers happy. I drive so many kids, and these are really big money makers for me. Like Saturday and Sunday night, at bar mitzvah and a party, I'm driving teenagers. It's going to be bank because I get paid by that parent, that parent, that parent. They're all paying me individually. They're all paying me Venmo. They're all tipping me. So I am making like 20-30% more than I would just giving them a regular price scheduled out for a set of hours. No, I'm taking these kids from there to there to there. These kids, they know the parents have the money. They want to stop at In-N-Out. They want to stop here, right? But safety. You want to get those kids home safe and on time. Handling luggage. Who's your backup driver? This could be a lot of extra money, right? If you are hunting at concerts and events and sports for those one-off clients, you've dropped them off on Uber, you're going to hustle them back as a private trip, right? Security, safety, a lot of question marks built in there, but there's not the opportunity for a backup driver. When you start building out private clients, and if you're a lot of them, and you get your double and triple bookings, there is nothing more beautiful than actually turning down a client saying, I'm booked out already. Or I have 3 bookings on that on that Saturday, my backup client. And the moment I say backup client, they know who they're getting. They're not getting me, but they're getting the backup client. I know what I'm getting money-wise. So it's the long-term clients that'll bring you in a lot of additional money if you have your 1 or 2 backup drivers. And the last one that I preach big time in the rideshare channel, I think this is where this is one of the deciding factors today. As I speak today, they come out with this bullshit verification process on Uber. There is no safety, right? There's no checking against a criminal database. I'm all about safety. I want to know my client. I want to know who's in my car, because there are so many unknowns, so many unknowns in Chicago when it comes to safety, security, or Oklahoma City, or Washington, D.C., or Maryland. There are so many unknown safety issues potentially coming your way. I highly encourage people to look at the possibility of setting yourself up as a private driver, because with all of these individuals in these pictures, whether it's the actress, whether it's the wife of a basketball player, I'm safe. Whether it's with the Foo Fighters, I'm safe. Whether I'm rolling around with David Hasselhoff or Jamie Foxx, I'm safe, right? I know who I have in my car. Potentially, I need to bring in an extra security guard. I'm already armed. They bring in their own security. It's a safe environment. I have never, knock on wood, I haven't had issues when it comes to security and safety with my private clients. I have had numerous issues driving as an Uber and Lyft driver. And what I'm showing you in this course is how to wean you off the medication, how to wean you off the algorithm, how to get you to detach from the algorithm, how to get you out of the hamster wheel and start setting up a whole new world of possibilities of private clients where you are stepping into your true potential. And like I said in the title, I will truly show you how to work less and make more money. Working less hours per day than you are currently on Uber and Lyft, because I'm going to show you how to get off Uber and Lyft by bringing them across into your business. Rashid, bless you too, my brother. Anybody here that I can give a shout out? I've been yapping away nonstop. We have Martin in the house. We've got Mookie in the house. We got Rideshare Warrior in the house. We have Rideshare Warrior Rick in the house. We got Vibes in the house. We got Flo Kunle. 4 kids, baby. Flo has 4 kids. It's wonderful. I'm beating you. I have 5. Carlos is in the house. Who else do we have? Ricky Ramos is in the house. Ricky Ramos, really enjoy your messages. Keep them coming. Always good feedback, good Good suggest. Always wonderful to see my friend Jimmy Abstract Echo. Michelle Jones is in the house. Michelle, big fan of yours. When I see Michelle's face show up in my channel, I always smiling because she's sweet, she's professional. I like what she writes. Always happy to see you there, right? So Black Wolf's in the house, Summer Butterflies in the house, Duncan's in the house, Hal Smulson's in the house, Craig Held is in the house, HC's in the house. We've got a lot of people in the house. So maybe this wasn't the best time of the day to make this type of video, but I do know that a lot of people are going to come across this video. And hopefully, I've shared enough information with you that you say, hey, you know what? I'll look into this. How can you ever hold this against you if you did not try, right? You're not spending a fortune here. You're not taking the craziest risk you've ever taken, right? This risk is so safe, and you can calculate this risk easily. You can project. You're getting raw data as you grow your clientele, as you get to know how to price things out, as you're getting your referrals. You can see I've just seen my business grow and grow year after year after year, feeding in more clients, spending less and less time on Uber and Lyft, feeding those clients into my private world, and literally getting it down to where maybe it's like 95% private clients, maybe once in a while a scheduled trip on Uber and Lyft, right? That I no longer have to go and play Russian roulette and gamble. Right now, my friends, I can tell you I love the hustle. It hurt me. It hurt me being out of the game for 2 months with my broken knee and my ACL. I wanted to be with my clients. I also shared in another video. I had people wiring me $1,000, $500. My private clients. We care about you. We want you back. And when I send out the mass email to all my clients, emails, text messages, hey, I'm back in action. You should see the responses. Woohoo! Yay! Glad to have you back. We're like a family. Just like my subscribers and my friends in my channel. This to me is an extended family. My clients, it's almost like an extended family. The teenagers that I drive, almost like an extended big family of kids, right? And I enjoy it. I truly love the hustle. I was starting to detest the Uber and Lyft game. Why? It was getting unsafe. The pay was going down. Safety was going down the tubes. Pay was going down the tubes. I mean, those two factors, safety and pay, right? You got to think long and hard. Do I want to go around spending 12 to 14 hours hopping between 2 or 3 apps to make $250, $300? No. That is not going to get me past the age of 60, 65. I'm sorry, right? This here is something that you can do right up to you. If you can still drive at 75 or 80 or pick up luggage, God bless you. You can do that for a long time. The most perfect job for anyone going into the retirement, right? You finished up your job, you were at your job all your life, you were a salesman, now you're retired. Perfect world for you to start as a private, maybe as a one-man show. Doesn't mean that you have to build out an entire fleet of vehicles like myself. Maybe you just want to be a one-man show. Me and my clients and my car. Let's roll. This is your course, right? So great for any person going into retirement. Great for any person who has some cash on the sideline and wants to do some investing, right? Again, I'll teach you all the ins and outs about fleet. There's an extra module built in here. Fleets are big money makers. How to manage a fleet, how to get the right drivers, how to get the insurance, how to price yourself, how to sign up with Uber Fleet. Uber Fleet, Uber's best product is the Uber Fleet product, right? They've had it forever. They've perfected it. It's great. I have no time for all the other bullshit that Uber puts out there. Fake verification, skimming tips, shaving tips. You just can't rely on the numbers. You just cannot rely on the Uber and Lyft numbers anymore. You need to be able to calculate, what am I making that month, right? What am I projecting to make in May and June? This is the business. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you. 70 minutes, right? It's almost like you got a ton of information, but the real juice, the real juice is in this 300-minute course. I have touched on these subjects today, right? I've hopefully convinced you that safety here, right? You're not going to have your carjackers. You're not going to have your criminals or your killers in this car if you follow this formula, right? And you're not going to be parting 60-70% to Uber and Lyft and 30 to 40% for you. No, this is 100% to you, to your company. Whether it's an LLC or S Corp, this money is going directly from the client through a Cash App, through Venmo, through Zelle, or cash directly in your hand, or a credit card on file into your business account. Capiche? Get it? Sie verstaan? Verstehen? Yeah? Comprend? Very simple formula. I've sold worldwide, any major city. You can set yourself up as a private driver, as a private chauffeur, and additionally maybe build out a fleet of multiple cars, because you now have learned the formula. You're a one-man business, and now you want to blow it out. You want to actually add a lot of vehicles and teach other drivers your formula. All the very best to you. Please leave your comments. God bless you on this day. 71 minutes. We still have 56 people here. Shout out to all the warriors. Shout out to all the hard workers out there. I appreciate you. Massive gratitude. I'm grateful. I'm thankful. And I'm blessed to have you as part of my channel. Have yourself a wonderful day. And please start working less and start making more money. Take care, everyone. Have a good day.